So this is going to be a classic Leafy's Here style rant for you. This is the Keemstar rant, but this isn't exactly what you're going to expect, I don't think. Or maybe it is. So first of all, Keemstar is the only YouTuber right now, I think, from the golden age of YouTube who is still deserving of any respect. I think Keemstar, and that's saying a lot. I mean, realistically, think about it. Keemstar is probably the only OG YouTuber who hasn't completely sold out his image and really sort of, or gotten banned, really, because he's survived. He's not like, because Leafy is Here was so edgy that he got deleted. H3H3 stuck around too long to the point where nobody likes him anymore, and he's totally lame, drawn out, and boring. PewDiePie sort of just went the natural course of becoming so big that he sort of just merged with the internet, and it's sort of hard to quantify PewDiePie, but he doesn't really exist as a symbol, a gritty symbol of the old internet anymore. He sort of lost that old edgy touch that he had at one point. That's been gone for some time now. You take somebody like Danny Mullen and all these different Nelk sort of wannabe characters who rise up. All of them are sort of sold out. I mean, it's sort of as soon as Nelk started selling their own brewing company and stuff like that, they all went sour. So really, Keemstar is the only one who sold out properly. He got involved with the different things like the the boxing and all that stuff, which has definitely gone a long way for him in terms of his image and stuff like that. It's like, good old Keemstar. He's always been edgy. He was always trolling people on Call of Duty and stuff like that, or whatever, those live game chats, and he's a relic from the old side of the internet. That's the other thing about Keemstar, is that we'll never really have a content creator who came from that old side of like the Call of Duty lobby, and swearing in the chat and all these different things. We'll never really see that again, because it's impossible, because you have to be connected to that sort of 2009 era of the internet and all those different things. Dream, don't get me started. Complete joke. No credibility whatsoever. He doesn't hold water against the reputation of people like iDubbbz and Leafy is Here and stuff like that. Rice Gum, I can't believe it, but I actually miss the days of Rice Gum. I was saying it before that I actually miss the days when Jake Paul was the biggest problem. I mean, at least when Jake Paul was the center of the community on YouTube, there still was a sense of community. I mean, there was Pyrocynical, and there was all these other content creators who were out there, and there was sort of a sense with that long form content, those 5 to 7 minute videos, sometimes 9 to 15 minute videos that we'd see getting published by content creators really put effort into those videos. It's nothing like you see today with these 15-second TikToks. And sure, people could put a lot of effort into a 15-second video, but there really isn't that same sort of connection, that same sort of community building around that sort of thing, especially when people are using apps like TikTok or even YouTube Shorts, and Instagram's a big one with those 15-second videos. It basically means that each user is going to be watching like 15 videos in a session when they're on a various different social media platform. So in a sense, a lot of these bigger content creators like Charlie D'Amelio and so forth, who are famous for their 15-second clips that get like 5 million views, well, they don't really have that big of dedicated fan base in comparison to people who will sit there for 9 minutes and spend 9 minutes with PewDiePie, or spend 9 minutes watching one of those OG videos from back in the day when there wasn't so much saturation of content on the internet to the point where people were pushed all around all different sides of the internet. And that's really the situation that we're faced with today. And realistically, I think that a lot of the people who are into that sort of long-term content have migrated towards Twitch, and that sort of has its own niche audience. But for the most part, I mean, we really are watching total overhaul of the way that content creation, the way that videos are perceived, especially due to the fact that generally anybody nowadays can get a video published that'll get them 1 million views. It'll have their face seen by a few million people. But at this point, who gives a shit? We got Keemstar is solidified as a historical internet figure, and he's the GOAT. Essentially, despite all the controversy and attributing all the controversy to him as merit, you have to understand that the way that the internet's going to be washed and made vanilla and all these different things, as things continue to progress from right now moving forward, we're going to be seeing more Mr. Beasts. We're just getting sort of cheap clicks. No, nothing against Mr. Beast. I'd love a free iPhone, but at the end of the day, there's no grit to it. There's no philosophy to a lot of this different content. Sure, it might be interesting to watch a bunch of people compete. I might click on the Squid Games Mr. Beast thing, but at no point do I really think that it's at all deserving of the amount of attention that it gets. And there's so many more interesting things that we could be focusing on that we're so subverted from, and we're totally unable to get a grasp on as a community, because it just is gone to the point now where people are just sprawled and spread apart onto so many different information echo chambers. The active side of the internet has moved to Discord. People are using Twitter basically as a joke. The whole ecosystem of the information feedback loop is 100% just corrupt, and it's sort of a parody of itself that it once existed as in like 2012 and stuff like that. So the future of the internet is actually sort of witnessing a renaissance in that regard. However, as a result, with what we're seeing happening with these billionaires such as Elon Musk and Kanye West acquiring all these different social media platforms and stuff like that, actually does sort of show an upheaval that's happening in Silicon Valley, and it sort of shows a total shift in character that's happening as far as the internet's concerned. And it'll be interesting to see how this new assessment of the way that information is being transmitted between people on the internet, perhaps it will set a new tone, and perhaps YouTube will follow suit, and perhaps we will see the algorithms of a lot of these websites return to their golden age. If Elon can make a proper example with Twitter, and if a lot of these different things can go the way that they're supposed to go, then yeah, maybe we can see the internet sort of revitalized and get sort of a last breath of fresh air before a lot of these different algorithmic demotions and sort of problems that we saw plaguing the early 2015s and 2016, 2017. A lot of the shutdown that we saw happening with the algorithms on the internet, and the death of YouTube and all those different things, I mean, that stuff hasn't gone anywhere. It's still stuff that we need to be on the lookout for. But yeah, total respect for Keemstar. This is the Keemstar rant. Go subscribe to Keemstar.